it going? Susan Ruth here. Thanks for listening to another episode of Hey Human Podcast. This is episode 199, and I sat down with the lovely Ghuan Featherstone. He is the founder and director of Urban Saddles here in Los Angeles, a fantastic organization. I got the chance to chat with him, and then some other folks joined the conversation, and that was really great. We talked about all sorts of things. I don't want to give too much away. It's such a great episode. I'm really stoked about it. Urbansaddles.org is the website to find them, and they're also connected with the Lavender Hill Farm, which is a great organization as well. And we talk a little bit about Lavender Hill, but not a whole lot. So definitely check out the links page on heyhumanpodcast.com because I'm going to put all this information on there for sure. So Urban Saddles is a horse ranch that teaches riding and tact and feeding and husbandry and all this stuff to kids, inner city kids that come in, and it's a fantastic program, seriously stellar. And I met Ghuan through my friend Brad. Thanks, Brad. And I'm just really excited to get y'all to know about this place because I think they do exceptional work. Usual stuff. Hey Human Podcast is on Facebook and Instagram. If you want to email me, Susan at heyhumanpodcast.com, please do so. Rate and review Hey Human on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can find out more about my writing and music and art and performances at susanruth.com. There's a donation button on heyhumanpodcast.com. If you like what you hear and you want to help keep it ad-free, Hey Human has a donate button. Please donate. I want to thank those of you that have donated. I really appreciate it. It takes a lot to keep this thing going, and the help is really, I'm very grateful. So thank you for that. Again, I want to mention urbansaddles.org because they're very important and do really great work. So definitely check that out and donate to them. Donate to them before you donate to me because they're doing some really good stuff. I guess I shouldn't say things like that, but I mean, I think it's important what they're doing. So definitely them first. Worry about me later. As you all know, Nashville got slammed by a tornado 2 nights ago. Wow. Yesterday was frantic for me. I was just on email and Facebook. Thank goodness for the Facebook Mark Yourself Okay, because I know that people were probably getting overrun with texts and phone calls, and that was a really easy way to check to make sure friends and loved ones were safe. Unfortunately, friends of friends passed away in the tornado. Certainly, friends of mine lost everything in the tornado, and some people got broken bones and things like that. It's crazy there. It really is. I'm sure by now you've seen the footage. It's just really horrendous. So my thoughts go out to them. They're in Nashville, my stomping grounds for a very, very, very long time. I would like to say Nashville raised me up quite a bit. They have a great organization called Hands on Nashville that is wonderful with the efforts of cleanup and such. So definitely check that out. Oh boy, I don't like to talk about all the things going on in the world too much because I know you guys get over inundated by that. But for certain, check out what's going on in India. There's some really crazy stuff going on with the RSS and Muslims being rounded up and killed and driven out. And it's mayhem. And then, of course, we got Syria. That's crazy. And the coronavirus, just wash your hands. Don't cough on each other. Just be polite, blow your nose into a Kleenex, and wash your hands a lot. I think that will help a great deal. I'm no doctor, but washing hands is a tried and true method of staying unsick. I've also been doing a Zicam every day. I don't know if that helps, but after I eat, I just suck on one of those Zicam lozenges, and I figure it can't hurt, right? I know that when I'm starting to feel sick, I do Zicam, and it seems to really cut it in half. So I don't know, just a suggestion maybe. This is not medical advice. Don't get mad at me if it doesn't work or you're allergic to zinc. Don't do it. But I figure it's better better to do it than not do it at this point. So anyway, enough of that. Thank you for listening. I'm really excited about this episode. You wouldn't know it considering I've just rambled on for almost 6 minutes and we still haven't started the episode. Look, I'm still doing it. Okay, let's do this. Thank you for listening. Support Urban Saddles. Support Hands on Nashville. Send your love around the world because we need it. Definitely vote. Love you. Thank you for listening. Here we go. Ghuan Featherstone, welcome to Hey Human.
All right, thank you for having me.
Thanks for inviting me to the ranch.
Yes, ma'am.
It's very exciting. Are you the head of Urban Saddles?
Yes.
Right, so is this something that you founded as well?
Yes.
Let's just start actually from the beginning of you.
Okay.
Where are you from?
From Los Angeles, California.
Okay, so you grew up here.
Grew up here, and then I left and went to the military.
Oh.
And I lived overseas for about 11 years.
What branch?
Army.
Okay.
Army. Then came back home and fell in love with riding horses. I had a girlfriend her family were cowboys, and she told me about a place that used to be called El Fig or the Hill Stables, and it was located on 131st and Figueroa. And
which is in the city.
Yes, it's in the city. It's in the middle, right in the heart of the city.
And you wouldn't think of finding horses in the middle of a city.
And I grew up here, and I didn't know anything about it, until I actually came back from the military. But it was there already for like 75 years by the time that I hit there.
Yeah.
And the history is unique because it was actually the only stable that would actually rent to blacks back in the 40s, 50s, 60s. And the guy that owned it, his name was Nicholas Tuckeruck. But he passed and he left it to his son.
White guy, black guy?
White guy.
Yeah. Okay.
White guy. And so just think how rare that was back in those days with all of the, laws, Jim Crow laws and all this other stuff. So, and he left it like that. Like, I want to have this for the city. And so it was a beautiful place. In his will, yeah, he left it in his will.
And his son kept legacy alive.
But his son never put any money into it, and so it was just like what you would call a dump. Makeshift stalls, and then we had a fire up there in 2012, and 3 horses died. Sad, and they closed it down, and then we made a documentary about it, trying to
Fire on the Hill.
Yeah, Fire on the Hill, trying to bring awareness to it. The director, he actually came out prior to the fire. He was doing his, you would call it his final project, because he was going to USC trying to get his master's.
Yeah, I wrote his name down. Brett
Valentine. Yes.
Valentine.
Yes. And he came down to the stables looking to film, and he was like, okay, who is this guy I want to film? But over the years, he became the family, So.
And you're in the film, are you not?
Yes, I'm one of the characters in the film, one of the subjects in the film, and then it shows me trying to get the hill, get in contact with the owner, trying to get the hill back reestablished, and it's a cool little film. It shows one of our buddies. He was an amateur bull rider, but now he's professional. But it shows his plight, trying to break into the rodeo world, as a black bull rider.
In which, again, there's probably not a whole lot.
It's not a whole lot. No, it's probably maybe about 4 of them. And so he did that, and then the same place. The hill is actually, I don't know if you know about Charlie Sampson, but Charlie Sampson in 1982, he won the PBR National Bull Riding Championship. So he was actually the first African American to ever win the championship.
That's a huge.
Yeah, it's huge. And he came from the hill. He learned how to ride at the hill, and then so he made the film, and trying to bring awareness to what we were trying to do. But another part of the hill that was so unique was that it was like a neutral zone for gangs. So here you go, you got a place in the heart of the city, and you had blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asians, Crips, Bloods, MS-13s, all in the same area, hanging out together, and became like family. But and that's what intrigued me and got me to stay. It was like, wow, this is crazy. Like in this little area, everybody gets along. No, the gangbangers weren't tripping on each other. White and black problems didn't exist. Hispanic and black problems didn't exist. It was like this is cool, you know. So that's what the whole idea of this place is. Building bridges between communities, trying to get something
for
like
urban
that
saddles,
for urban
what
saddles.
you started.
Yeah.
Why do you think it is that when they were around the horses and at the hill that they didn't have those problems?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Because it's fascinating.
Yes, it is.
Why in this insular place, and the minute you step outside that,
it's a war zone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the common denominator is the horse. That's it. That's the only thing I can figure out. You know, and I've been trying to figure that out. I've even asked people. I do a thing where I ask everybody, you know, just to try to figure out, like, why is that? Why does it work here, but outside of these gates?
What did people say?
Basically, it was because the area was an area that was there historically for a purpose of the horses, and everybody that came there, they had like a view of this place like this is their childhood dream type of place that they're living. This is their safe haven. So everyone adopted that theology within themselves, like this is my tranquil place. So it was like if you saw somebody out of pocket, out of line, you were quick to stop that because you didn't want them to mess with your tranquility. So you like, okay, well, no, we don't do that gangbanging up here. Oh, no, and we don't do that racism up here. You're gonna have to go. You know, no. You know, so it was like if you have a community, everybody thinking the same thing, it's easy to push that same ideology. You know, and then after a while, the outside people, they just kind of just knew. You know, like because when I came up there. I'm gonna say it was already in existence for 75 years, and I didn't get there till 1999.
And how old were you then?
29. And then so it was like wow, this is different. You know, it was way different. You know, than all of Los Angeles. You know, and so it was like. I've been hooked, you know. I've been there ever since, yeah. So, and I wasn't raised up as a cowboy, you know. I always had the dream of, riding a horse one day, and my superhero was the Lone Ranger. He wasn't Batman, anybody like that. So I always looked up to that Western figure. But I wasn't raised.
Was it hard as a person of color to have your hero be a white person? Because I think there's something to be said about like looking for yourself in your in your icons and your heroes.
And the cool part about it is like that's something that you asked me that because I grew up in the 70s. So now you got 1978. I got bused out to Canoga Park, to the Canoga Park school system out there, magnet program. They did an assessment and they were like, oh yeah, you could go to the magnet school. It's like, oh okay, my mother was great. Oh, let's do it. It's better education, let's do it. Got out there, oh man, the parents would picket, they outside, but oh yeah, I mean, it was just 8 little black kids. And then they're picketing, niggas go home, Mr. T Mama's a whore, this, that, da. So you have all these images in your head, of people being mean to you, and it's like it's terrifying. But the guy that I got me through that, the Lone Ranger, I used to love the way he could go into the city, and he was the outsider all the time, but he would always fight for the injustices of the people. So I would always, it was like that's who I would actually think of, this white guy. How he would handle the situation. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And then later on as an adult, I found out, that character was based on a real live person?
I didn't.
Yeah, the Lone Ranger is based on the true life of an ex-slave named Bash Reeves. Look it up. His name was Bash Reeves. He became a U.S. Marshal, and he arrested over 3,000 criminals, and he had these outstanding horsemanship skills and shooting skills and detective skills. So just think if I had known that back then, that the dude was, somebody even looked like me. But that's something that they just wiped out because they didn't think that it would be accepted at that time to showing the black guy riding around with the Indian, arresting white folks and this and that, back in that day. But just imagine what he had to go through, So, yeah, and I still feel like the Lone Ranger. I still, I didn't, as a kid, you don't see color until it's presented in a way to where it's threatening, I grew up, I was actually born in Pennsylvania. And in Pennsylvania was different than out here. I was born in Pittsburgh at West Penn Hospital, Allegheny County. And all of my little friends prior to me getting out here were pretty much white, except my family members. But we didn't have those problems. I didn't know that I was different. You understand what I'm saying? They didn't treat me any different. I didn't know I was different. I didn't see that. And then when I came out here, I still had that type of attitude. I didn't know I was different until I got out there in Canoga Park and they showed me I was different. You see? So, yeah.
What's so depressing and real is that 1978 is not even very long ago. It's a blink of an eye in the timeline of us.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not that long ago at all. And we still have places that suffer from these issues, still.
Oh, walk out the door.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's
if I still have places, you mean the planet, yes.
Exactly. It's in your face now. Yeah, it's in your face. But
and horses are a great equalizer. Firstly, and they're gorgeous, I think.
Yes.
I know some people are scared of horses, but they're beautiful and they come in a multitude of browns and blacks and whites and dappled and all these beautiful colors and some of course there's Black Beauty, one of the most stunning creatures to ever live in fiction.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. And look at them; they don't have any problems with who has a different color or shade on them. They don't. That's something that we've been taught, and we really don't have that problem. It's what we've been taught to have a problem with.
For sure. We're not born
with that problem. Yes, you have to be. Yes, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're not born with that issue.
Yeah. I remember watching South Pacific as a kid and going to my parents and saying, "There's something about that song." That song. Yeah, and just feeling. And I went back as an adult. In fact, I did this just a couple of years ago. And I listened to the song all the way through, and I was crying. I'm like, God, it's so true.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so true. What made you, so when the hill burned down, that must have been devastating for the community.
Oh, it was. And that's what made me say, okay, well, you know what? Well, at first, the issue was trying to just get that place back up and running. Have the owner say what because he said, okay, we're going to tear it down, we're going to bring it up to code and bring it back. So that was our whole mission at first.
And the son wasn't into it?
Nah, the son, he dodged us for years, so we started filming in 2011. I finally actually got to shake his hand and meet him again. I knew him back then. He disappeared. Then I saw him again in 2018. Yeah, that's when I saw him again.
It's such a worthy and noble cause. I wonder what his issue was. Did he ever say?
Well, he said he had health issues. Oh. He said he had health issues, and he was not, which I know is true because he has a.
You just took a picture of your pocket. I
did. I tried to stop it. But he had health issues. He was hooked up to a breathing machine. He has to walk around with oxygen.
So there was stuff going on.
And when I met with him, he agreed to help us out. You want to see a picture of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I took that. And when I met with him, I was like, and we talked, and I told him I've been trying to get with him, and I explained everything that was going on.
Was he interested in a future vision of the hill?
Yes, he was. And then so, right now, when we first came out, the name, we weren't Urban Saddles. It was all about the hill. So we were the Hill Foundation and trying to just pay homage to the name of the hill. And
in the same space that it
in the
burned.
same space, yes, where it burned down. We wanted to open it back up there. So everything that you see here, we wanted to do there. That was the original plan.
What, did it burn because of a fire that struck California, or was it?
It burned. They say that it was a barbecue pit, but none of us believe it was a barbecue pit. And the reason being is because there was the horse that actually got burned. There were 2 attempts prior to that time that someone tried to burn that same horse. And so now the Hispanics do what they call these match races. And then They go out and they'll get an area and then they'll race, but they bet lots of money, 20,000, 50,000, you know, on these horse races. And this horse was actually the horse to beat. He was beating all the horses, and he beat a few people that weren't happy about the loss. And so the attempts were made on him prior to the actual act of him dying, and they moved him to another stall where he actually got caught up, and they locked the stall. See, now like if you go out here, right here, you see there's no locks on these stalls. It's just a hook, but they put a lock on the stall so you couldn't even save him. See, we were able to save the horse both times. You know, someone came. One of the times it was actually my buddy William. He came luckily on time and got the horse out. Another time was one of the old guys that stayed down there at the hill all the time, and he saved the horse. This time, one of the guys that's in the organization named Calvin, he came back after a ride and saw the horses burning, but they put a lock on it so you couldn't let the horse out of the stall.
Poor baby.
So that's why it's still in my belief it was intentional. You know, when they do the investigation. And it burned the whole thing down. Yeah, well, it wound up burning 3 horses.
But I mean, the hill itself had to be redone, or just?
Well, no, and then it only burned 3 stalls. But the reason the whole hill had to get closed up was because of the city. The city, when the fire happened and they had to do their investigation, they were like, oh, this isn't up to code, which it wasn't. You know, it was a makeshift barn. You know, should have been grandfathered in because they didn't have all those codes back in the day when it was built. But they gave us all maybe 30 days to get our horses relocated, and if we didn't relocate them, they were confiscated. It made the news too. If you go back to 2012 and look up Channel 5, you can see the footage.
So they took the other horses away from you?
They took from the organization. If you didn't move them, they were taking them.
Are any of those horses here in your new facility? From that time?
Yeah, actually now there is. Now there is the mother. We got the mother right, not this stall right here, but the next stall. That horse was there. That's Daisy, and her baby is a cross. That's Dior. That's her baby, and but the baby wasn't born at that time. But she was there. But down further, she wasn't affected. Nowhere near the smoke, but she was there. And this is Mr. Tucker Up.
Oh, okay.
And that's me shaking hands with him.
Yeah.
And then
he looks like the guy from Full Metal Jacket.
I know, huh? And then look at this video.
Look at this. Hello, everybody. I'm here at the horse stables, right here, the old Figueroa horse stables. And I just talked to this wonderful gentleman. I just pulled up and I saw this man right here. And this happens to be Mr. Nicholas Tucker Rupp, the owner of all this. This right here, this is his legacy. And guess what he just told me? He said he wants to help and be a part of the Hill Foundation and do something for the inner city kids so that we can change our community. I'm about to cry, so let me stop this thing. Thank you, Mr. Tucker Rupp. Are you all in with us?
Yes.
Is he still alive?
Yes, he's still alive.
And did he help?
Not with Urban Saddles. The only thing he's willing to do is let us do the property. So he gave me, we could be over there right now, but we don't have the money to develop it. So
the
gave
property
him all the
is there. It's just not being.
It's just there's squatters on it, so we'd have to run them off, which isn't a big issue. But we don't have the money to develop it, so we're not really trying to displace people.
What kind of money are we talking?
To develop, because they want plumbing put in, they want it on, so it'll probably cost maybe about $500,000. Yeah, exactly. Because you have to do all the underground trenching and all that good stuff, and then they want all metal structures. If you notice, all the buildings around here have the metal. You can only have wood facade on it.
Have you done fundraisers? It seems like LA is big on fundraisers.
Yes, and that's what we're actually about to start. So we just got our approved 501c3 last year. So not December we got notification. Well, it was stamped November 15th, but I didn't receive the paperwork until December. So we're in February now. So we're like
It takes time.
2 months into the game, so we're planning events and fundraisers, and
you have to let me know.
Gotta let you know. On the 19th, we go to Washington D.C. and we screen the film for National Geographic.
The Fire on the Hill film?
Yeah.
Is it available for people to watch?
Not yet. It's going to be. It's going to be. I
saw the trailer, and I can put that on Hey Human Podcast link page.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah. It's supposed to hit Prime. It's supposed to hit Prime this month. Yeah, by the end of this month.
Wonderful.
It'll be screened on Prime, and we're trying to get National Geographic to pick it up and make it one of their films. If that happens, that will get a lot of attention.
So will it be called Urban Saddles then?
No, it's still Fire on the Hill. But
no. I'm sorry, not the film, but the space.
Yes, it'll be Urban Saddles.
It'll be okay. So what? You were working on trying to get that revitalized and realizing that it wasn't going to happen right away, and now you're in this look. What brought you here? What got you to change into
and to come here?
Yeah, and do all that.
So what happened was we couldn't find him for a long time, so that's why I was so excited on that video. So, but in the interim, we lost a lot of kids to the streets. A lot of kids. Some kids got back in the gang banging, wound up dead, wound up in jail, and I was just like, man, we got to really do something. And we found this place, and we were stabling like right across the street where we had the horses, and we stabled over there for a year. And he had this barn. It was empty for a few years, and he was like, well, if you want to get that barn, you could rent the barn and start running your programs up out of there, and so we thought about it, and we all pitched in and got our little money together and got the barn, And so,
what area is this?
This is Southgate. Yeah,
okay,
Southgate.
And where are we
the Hill,
compared to Compton and the Hill?
Maybe about 10 minutes away. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we're not that far away.
It's not too hard for kids to get through.
We can even ride our horses down that way.
Oh.
Yeah, if we wanted to. But now the plan to do the Hill isn't over. That's not over. And the Hill will still be the Hill. Yeah, it's just beginning. Yeah, it's just beginning. And the Hill, when we bring it back, it's going to be called the Hill. It's just going to be an urban saddle program ran out of the Hill. We're going to still keep it
to its legacy.
Yeah, to its legacy. Yeah, we're going to build it like a museum with all of the cowboys that came up out of that place. Pay homage to all of them, because a lot of cowboys came out of there. And then so.
What does it mean to be a cowboy to you?
Well, it's funny because people ask that question a lot. And to me, what it means, it's a little different, because I'm not a rodeo cowboy. I've tried some rodeo sports for fun, but it wasn't something that I wanted to actually pursue and try to make a career out of. So being a cowboy for me is more so the freedom that I get when I'm riding the horse, and it's the actual bond that I get to make with the horse, and it allowed me to actually make bonds with everything that I do, because you have to be patient with horses. So for me to be a cowboy is really to be human. It really is, because if you can relate to these animals, you can relate to anyone or anything. I'm good with dogs, I'm good with birds, I'm good with, and people I'm really good with. I don't have any barriers, nothing blocking my mind, saying, okay, I can't receive you and accept you as a person and cater to you. You see what I mean? When you deal with a horse, you can't just say, okay, it's a horse, I can act like this. No, horses have personalities and mannerisms as well. So you have to get into that, or that horse isn't going to respond to you. So, and it's the same thing with people. Once you learn that, you can deal with anybody.
When you were working with the kids, especially coming from different gangs and rival backgrounds, did you see that even though while they were within the Hill, they respected the boundary of lay down your arms, lay down your flags, and all that? Did you see it start to permeate in the
yes.
town around when they would leave the gates
all
and
the time.
Get back in their communities?
All the time. The youth that come up there, and adults, you got adults that were affiliated with gangs too.
Sure.
But once they come up there, it even broadened their perspective, because now it's like, okay, they can't just say everybody from that neighborhood is bad or they're my enemy, because they're like, wait a minute, Davey from over there, that's, you know what I mean? I've even seen stories when you go to a different neighborhood and then, you have like that rival gang member that's there that you've seen at the hill, and then I've seen them stop altercations like, oh, no, that's my partner. I'm like, no, he's from 60s or he's from 30s. Like, no, that's my partner. Leave him alone. And then but that is outside the gates, you see. So, and then the thing that I've really seen the most happen with everyone that comes to the hill, they go from active gang members to affiliates to they just stop being active. And it's like, well, I'm still loyal to my neighborhood, but I can't get down with the other stuff. This is what's so
frustrating to me. $500,000 in the grander scheme of what it costs to incarcerate people or to deal with gang violence or just the loss of young lives, all of that. Because who knows what this kid may grow up to be.
Exactly.
Especially even if he's being raised up in a violent environment, it doesn't mean that at one point he won't go, you know what, done, and then go find a cure for cancer or something.
Oh, yeah. You never know.
Nobody knows.
You never know.
If the community is frustrated by that, then everybody chip in $1. How many people are in this? 10 million people in Los Angeles?
Exactly.
If every person, chipped in $1, you would have this facility in several places, and it would start to change the conversation.
Yes, it would. It sure would.
And it's so frustrating. It makes so much sense. I don't.
And that's why I've dedicated so much of my time to it. If I didn't see the results that I've seen, I would still be guessing like, well, would it work or does it affect people? But I've seen the change that it's had in myself. I'm a living testimony, and I've seen the change that it has in pretty much everybody I know, that actually lives this lifestyle. So, I know it works, so it's like I can't see doing anything other than trying to make a conscious effort to affect the people, because at first it was just inadvertently helping the people. We weren't trying to save the youth. We were just having fun, and it was doing it, you see. So now it's like, okay, well, we got to actively try to do something. You were in a gang, you don't believe in that no more. You were in a gang, you don't believe in that no more. You were in a gang, you don't believe in that no more. You've been to jail for this, you don't believe in that no more. We need to talk to these kids. We need to get them out here. We need to show them you can change. You can do this. Look, you used to be gangbanger. Now you got your own trucking company. You used to be, so that's what this is all about. To be that active focal point of where people can actually see people that have changed.
It must be monumental to watch that happen in someone.
Yes, it is. Just to see someone's whole ideology change. First, we laugh about it because some of the guys that I'm real cool with, when we first met, they probably would have killed me. They wanted, but it's like, wow, man. And you joke, man, I'm so happy I didn't kill you. I'm like, I'm happy you didn't too. But it's true, because you never know what someone could become, so, but if you're not given that opportunity to change, you're just always going to be in that pot. You're going to do what you're used to doing.
And what you're told you are.
Yes,
if
exactly.
you tell somebody who they are, pretty soon they'll start to believe it.
Exactly. Yeah, and they'll start to act out like that. All right, I'm going to be the best. But
be the best of the worst.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be the best of the worst. Yeah,
and it's understandable because that's human nature.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what is a? Do you need to answer the door?
Let me see.
Okay.
Who's that? Twan? Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up, man? Oh yeah, good looking. Yeah, we're doing a little interview, but I'm gonna have you talk and say something too.
They want to come now?
Yeah, come on now. The other can come too.
Pull up a chair. Hi there.
Hey, how are you?
I'm Susan.
Hi, Susan.
We kind of met out there.
Yes.
Hi.
Antoine.
Antoine, how do you do? Nice to meet you. All right, let's, so, Antoine. Della.
Yes.
Yes. Susan, how are you involved here? What's your, here, let me get this a little closer to y'all. Okay, how are y'all involved here?
So I'll start. I'm Della, and I'm actually a volunteer. I actually saw these guys at the MLK parade here recently in Los Angeles, and because I'm a horse advocate, person that loves horses and grew up riding, it felt that I needed to be compelled based on their story as to how they got involved as far what they do for the community as well as the kids. And you know, you can't beat that. So, you know, I made a conscious point to come out here a couple different times to actually get involved. And so I'm the person that'll be more than happy to come out and muck out a few stalls and brush horses down and ride and spend time with the kids because it's a good cause.
Did you grow up with horses?
I did. Grew up showing hunter jumper, riding English and Western, as well as you know, riding Western and rodeo. So, you know, this is a perfect fit, but it's nice to see that you've got every aspect of the community involved when it comes to the different type of men that are providing the services that they do.
What do you see in the kids that come in? How do you see them change and grow?
They're willing to actually step out of their comfort zone. When I say that, you know, you've got a lot of kids who people assume are scared of different type of animals. Critters are my big thing, and to see kids that are actually, you know, willing to step into a crowd with horses and manure and different things like that, probably, you know, it's actually inviting to make sure that you know that that's the next step that where you need to go to. So, you know, for the most part, growth is what you're going to see. That's the thing, is growth, because they're going to get more of the outdoor playing. It's not just electronics that these kids are out here doing. They're actually outdoor playing. They know about cleaning stalls, feeding horses, brushing down horses, washing. That's where this is going.
Yeah. And how about you? How are you involved?
Oh, just by being a local cowboy from right around here, already stabling here, running into my little bro Ghuan up here, and we both doing the same thing, horsing around, being cowboys from the community building, and just loving the whole thing. It's just a lifestyle.
Did you grow up with horses too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't grow up in the country or anything, just out here in the city, you know, going to the L-Fig stables back in the early mid-70s, 74, 73, you know, to now.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a lifestyle. And then you add in the, what can I say, the character building skills that come from it. You know, animal husbandry, you care for the animals, me being in the horticulture. So we tie that in with what Ghuan already had going with Urban Saddles. And so now we have like two things going on the same plane, horticulture, agriculture.
Oh, the kids are learning all that stuff too.
They will be. It's not right now today, but we do.
That's what you're aiming.
Right there. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think that'll help cultivate, empower, get that creative thought going. Help them to have a mindset of, I want to know where this comes from. I know and get the inspiration from taking a seed all the way to the table. You know, to say, hey, you know, we take this, we put our Compton Farms USA brand on it, we put our Fresh Out of Compton brand on our Cali Fresh brand, and they say, now we got a product here. So now we get more to self-enterprise, you know, and teaching them to be self-sustained.
And I think he's hit on that word, the mindset and cultivating is actually the things that actually help to accumulate growth when it comes to life choices. That's the big thing, life choices when they get a little older. So that cultivating and mindset, those are the two key words that actually are building.
Yeah, so inside of that, you now building leaders, people that know how to develop things instead of always reaching out for somebody to give it to them. They know how to get up and go get it now, and they have confidence. And then they're on the plane with a lot of our what they call the heartland type kids that grow up. They grow up in this type of atmosphere normal because parents have ranches, farms, and it's generational, but we don't have that. We just regular city folks come from all facets, construction, truck driving, whatever it may be. We have doctors, we have law enforcement, but we country folks at heart.
Yeah.
So.
I think also generational is such a big word there too, because I think just across the board, we are losing touch with our ancestors
Right.
and the things that they could teach us.
We're
You know, the
sorry.
oral traditions, the beautiful histories and backstories within our families, and that's so lost today. People are just in their phones or watching TV or not really even communing with the natural
Yeah,
being.
and then too, like what she was saying, just learning this good hard work. Because right now we got stalled to clean. And me and him on New Year's Day, we like, what we doing New Year's? What real cowboy do? We clean stalls. Get the barn open on New Year's, and we did it.
Yeah.
Early in the morning.
Horses don't drink champagne.
That's right. Don't drink champagne.
Right.
They are like kids. You clean the stall, they come back in and mess the stall up.
yeah.
But you know what? It's just the fact that you know it's going to happen and you're putting that time in. You know, that's hard work.
I
That's what it
imagine
is.
for the kids too, especially those who are growing up without a sense of trust within their own families or their friends or their communities or their gangs or whatever, you know, that feeling of true trust, which you spoke to about that, the animal human bond, that it gets me
The
emotional.
therapy,
Just
the
that,
therapy.
yeah,
It's
that
therapeutic. It
learning
is
that
therapeutic.
something trusts you is such a growth in one's psyche.
Well, I can even add to that. You've got kids that are going through where they've been bullied, or you know, they're going through where they have low self-esteem. And here, you can actually grab and see the fact is that you know what, with that bond, with that community that you get with the horse or any other animal that you have out here that you reach into. I mean, you see the kids even playing with roly-polies and different things like that. But that right there gives you that self of looking at it like, I do something that most people don't do. And not something that these kids are actually growing with is the fact that you can be bullied, but you come out here, you know, in prime example, my granddaughter was out here. She gets bullied all the time because she's a little chunky. Her yesterday wasn't even a mindset for her to be out here. Yesterday, she was a kid actually bonding with animals, bonding with people. These kids out here weren't teasing her, and she actually walked away with some form of confidence, walking away saying, you know what, I don't have to respond to that. And that's what this is all about. It's building an ability for you to, again, life choices, you know, and that's the thing that was probably one of the best medicines a kid can walk away with. Is that
Horses are such a zen. I mean, they can act up, obviously, but they generally act up when they're scared or they don't trust you. So it's a huge thing.
well, they're going to test you no matter what.
Yeah, like
But
little
the
kids.
fact is that they want you to step up to the plate too.
Yeah.
That's the thing they're looking at.
Yeah, that makes
And then that horse knows how to deal with you accordingly. He know what kind of energy that you come with, whether it's nervous energy or if it's just good. I love you. You a horse, and I love horses, so I love you. You know, that's gonna be just that inner energy that we can't see, just like with people. You gotta key on the thing. So in community building, you take all this in, you take all the people in, you mix it up, you put your best players in the best places in the field that you on while we playing this game. It's real though. It's not a game like Monopoly. It's a real life game.
Yeah.
And we all have a position and a role to play in it.
What do the kids, when they come in, what is a day for them when they come in?
Well, the day what we do is like yesterday we had kids out here. Sunday cleanup, right? And it's like Sunday fun day. We come, we clean the stalls and let the kids take part of that. Then they get to see the horses get grown, brushing and washing the horses. Then after that, they get to go into the arena, you know, see the head stalls and everything get put on the horses. So they're like involved with the horse from the stall all the way to the arena. And then they get to actually get on the horse and get walked around. No one's actually, well, we got a few kids that ride by themselves, but most of them actually get ponied around. And but just to see them do all of that, then after that, what happens is most of the kids that come, they'll come with their family. They're not coming like a group from a school, so they're like individual kids. So instead of the kids hanging with their families, they started hanging with each other.
Right.
That was awesome. That's amazing. They start running around now. The kids, you think that these kids all came together like they
knew each other.
Yeah,
that's
they
the
knew each
bonding.
other.
And the thing is, they ranged from like
That's what
3
you're
to 4
talking about.
months.
That's all the little boys that didn't know each other.
Yeah, but that
before
ranges from
tonight.
3 to 4 months all the way up to
Just
11,
hanging in
12, 13 year old. And here's one of the things I think is the best thing that you can find here is that if you listen to the voices right now, these two gentlemen, that's an even voice all the way around. So there's never any yelling, there's never anything. So these kids, if they're not used to that, they're getting a positive message based on what they get. And the direction that they get from these gentlemen is actually more or less real. It's real. Like they'll tell me they every time they see me, she's real. The thing about being real is you don't have to do any more than who you are for them to get the message, and that's what they get. These guys are true. They're gentlemen from the streets, but they're gentlemen from these corrals. They're gentlemen from life. And they get the work ethic, they get the smart ethic, and they get the common sense and the knowledge ethic, and the voice never changes.
And they're also getting people that look like them.
Exactly.
And I think we were talking about that earlier.
Oh,
it's
that's
like
that confidence builder.
Yeah, it's
That's
like,
that
oh wait, this
confidence
person
builder.
looks like me.
Yes.
That's something. That's a hero that is reflected not just in mind, but in everything.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
And to be honest with you, I felt that way yesterday with me being a female coming in. The girls were just like, I like the way you ride, and the things that, well, could you show me hand positioning things? And that's the point is, it's never, this is how I want you to do it, I'm showing off. Everybody's out here, we're just doing us. And it's not like, I'm not clean. Yesterday I mucked out 4 stalls. It has nothing to do with the fact that there's kids out here that can do it better than me or faster than me. I'm out here to enjoy and be part of the group. I'm not above anybody. These guys are out here yesterday. They were weed whacking, getting the place looking together, and then feeding these kids, plus spending the time with them. So it's a team. It's a village.
The sense of accomplishment after a hard day's work too.
Oh, yes.
There's
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
like it.
Oh yeah.
Now you're just sitting back like this, looking at them, just running all around.
Like, man, look at this. That just.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was no, I'm a group over here, I'm a group over
No,
here. They was
they
all
just all
together,
talking.
and
Yeah.
And last night, I thought I'd dropped my phone out there. We got to do a fog walk. Everybody out here, and every single one of them kids was out there walking that corral with me. And it wasn't, I'm not going out there, it was like, oh, we got to go.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
And so that's the growth. That's the life choices, knowing that they can depend on people, but they're actually out there to do something that they weren't forced to do. They were, okay, I gotta go help.
It's organic.
Yes, it is.
Definitely.
Yeah. And you ask the kids, did you have fun?
Oh, I had so much fun. Can't wait to go back.
Yeah, can't wait to get going.
Last night, kids falling asleep on the way home, and they were talking about, I was on the big horse today.
Yeah.
I was on the pony,
Yeah.
I cleaned up horse manure.
Yeah.
My ride home, I had them counting out. When we got there, we helped clean horses. We washed and brushed down horses. We got to help feed horses. They went through a list of everything that they enjoyed, and it wasn't just like, oh, I was just there.
And see, that's an old program right there.
Right
she
there.
just said.
Yeah.
But it's so natural, they don't even realize
That they being
you know,
programmed.
So we were here yesterday from 10 o'clock until what? Probably 8?
Yeah, like 8.
Not one kid was like, I want to go home.
No.
Nobody was complaining, do we have to be here any longer? They was like, do we have to go
Go,
home?
exactly.
Yeah, be like, you better take a shower, boy.
Yes.
Because they be out when they get
I
home.
bet the
they
parents
gone.
really see a difference at home too. I'm sure it reflects, back with cleaning their rooms or doing their own laundry or how can I help mom and dad? What can I do to help
Oh,
out?
yeah. That's what you really want to get out of them too. So you to be that person, take the initiative. You see that out of order, pick it up.
Yeah.
Make a difference.
Husbandry. That's it's all about good housekeeping, and that's what we call it.
All the
It's
way around.
housekeeping, and it's not really housekeeping, but it's skill levels to
But in a
basically
sense,
get
that's what
yourself.
I said. It's,
Yeah.
it have to be in order. It has to.
Well, this
to
is
be.
a house, right? Keeping
Exactly.
That's right.
the human
It's a
itself.
temple, right
It's a
there.
temple. There you
Yeah,
go.
to keep this house in order to keep the other houses in order.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
You know, the other big thing that these guys get here is a facet of music. So the music's not just what you'd see on the street. The music you get here is from every range of country music to jazz and R&B.
Oh, do you have programs that bring music out, or do
No,
they play?
we just play.
Have a musician first of all.
Yeah, I make
Have a musician.
I don't do it.
So you play music for all the kids.
Yeah, we play music.
Yeah.
And it's the thing is, it's something that it's a filler.
Yeah.
Music just, exactly.
Yeah.
Music just does something that adds to just period in any setting. Yeah, so we just blessed.
And then you'll hear kids walking around singing songs, and you'd be like,
Yeah, look at it.
So it's truly a proud moment, and there's never a time when you have a kid complaining. The only time you ever hear somebody complaining is us when we like, okay, the day's almost over. Wait, dang, that's
I get home, watch a little TV, but we done the whole day.
Yeah, the whole day gone.
pretty much. Knowing that tomorrow
Yeah.
We'll start all over again, especially on the weekend for these guys. This is
Yes.
something they do. And you got to have a big heart to be able to say that you can give this kind of time.
Absolutely.
You really, and because it comes out of their pocket, even as a
Yeah.
nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
You know, it still comes out of their pocket.
Well, let's talk about that. How, because I have a lot of listeners, how can people help? What can they do to donate and be a part of this?
Oh,
'Cause
they
it's
can go to urbansaddles.org.
Urbansaddles.org.
And things from equipment.
Yes.
Equipment, helmets, pads, even saddles.
Yes. Yes.
Any type of events. It don't have to just be horse, but it may be basketball, any sporting events, education, museum. If we can get them and
To take the
anything
kids.
fun,
Yeah.
it's the mix of that.
That's our motto. We're more than a cowboy. So
And cowgirls.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be in my day, because I'm older than they are. In my day, you know, a cowboy was just a general thought about it. But you do get now where people want to be laid out a little different, cowboy,
Yeah.
cowgirl. But look at it.
Cow person?
No. I'm gonna call the cow person. Yeah. But for the most part, you know what? That's who we are. And to be honest with you, history will tell you that the first cowgirls were black.
Well, just to put the facts down on that, back in them times, the black man wasn't called black man. You know, was
Right.
you know the N word, so on, etc. But so when it came to I'm master and you working my cattle, I'm not gonna say, hey man, go get that cow, boy. Get it? That's where the word derived from.
Yeah.
Go get that cow, boy. Right. So them were the first cowboy, the cowboy who was working for the master, because he wasn't looked at as a man in his eyes.
And then he took it further. He wouldn't just say, go get that cowboy. If he introduced you to someone else, those were his cowboys.
Yeah, them were cowboys.
Those are the ones who handled the cows. Those are his cowboys. That's his field.
So it wasn't based on horses.
So stand in line though. When it got to be something that was denoted as good, so we take that label off of there. We won't even put it that it was derogatory, and we'll put it over here now because everybody love cowboys.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, girls are boy just pick because we just love the life. So now we're not gonna mention, but that's the facts of the word itself.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah. But we embrace that.
Yeah.
That's the one thing is we embrace it because we know it's the history.
Exactly.
You know, and especially because right now this month that we're going with, you know, being
Black History Month, yeah.
it is something that
And it just adds flavor.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
But it just adds flavor.
Yeah.
Just because
Well, and we can't
the
forget our
struggle-
history. It's important.
Yeah.
History is important.
Well,
Yeah.
the struggle, what it takes to help make a people so strong in the midst of it all to even get to where we are now. Still got who know how far to go, but that just made it all the better.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So to me, it's about everybody embracing everybody and embracing everything we got going. That's good.
I love
Let's
it.
try that.
Yeah.
You know, and then you just gonna keep getting good stuff.
When the money is raised for the hill and that gets redone and refurbished, so will you be operating out of both locations? Will
Yeah, that's
it-
the
gonna
heart.
be.
Yeah, the hill is the.
That'll be the heart of
that's
it.
the heart.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is the wings.
Yes, like that.
This is the bar.
We got trails that go all over the city. We could take our horses and ride a trail that'll take us
To
to
downtown Long Beach.
We could ride to Long Beach. We could ride
To downtown LA.
Yeah,
I love that.
You know,
So one day you come saddle up with us and just.
Oh, I love that.
yeah.
So getting back to the part of the donations and stuff like that, you know, as far as helping out, there's a lot of different things that people can do, but one of the biggest things is to make sure that we're able to transport and do things that we need to do. And so donations is always going to be very welcomed, you know, and like you said, going online to make sure that you can actually look and it's a donation button that you can push on there. And, you know, we understand that times are hard for people, but this is going to be one of the most satisfying things that you can actually donate to.
And remember, just the donation just for us to sustain the place itself.
Right now we're paying $31.50 for the place. We paid $3,150 just for the place. Then we got to feed the horses.
And just keeping it just the bare bones of the place, even if it just this is for the barn. You know, we gonna make sure they get fed. But because if that's covered, however $100 field, whatever it is, that when we freed up more funds to give them more food and tack and et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
Vet bills.
Well, I have people listening from all over the world, and is there an address on there to if they want to
Yes.
donate actual things
Yes.
versus
There's
money,
an address.
or-
They can send it.
and I'll put that on the links page
It's on
too.
the website.
And it's on your website, so I'll make sure all that is spelled out so that
okay,
people don't have to
beautiful.
work too hard.
Okay.
And for the most part, what they do donate, we're more than happy to put it on the website. Thank you very much for your donations and stuff. So they get that to say that this is where it's going to, and trust me, people will notice that happens.
Yeah.
And now we're eligible to give them a tax donation, a tax write-off.
Deductible,
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Fantastic.
That's
I'm so excited. I'm so glad you all exist and that
Well,
you're
we
doing these
appreciate
things.
you coming out
big.
and
Yeah,
sharing our
we do.
story.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Does she know about the ranch now that we have our Brewer Mare program with the breeding mares on?
Do you want, what is that?
Talk about it.
Well, we have a new development that we're putting together right now as we speak. It's on a 600-acre ranch called Lavender Hill Farms.
Lavender Hill?
Yeah, they grow a lot of lavender.
Okay.
And 300 acres they set aside for recreation, and they have invited us to be guests, and they allowed us to have 4 of our breeding mares, which is Lacey. She's gonna be part of that
The tall
program.
horse?
The tall horse,
The
yes.
tall horse.
Yes.
So anyway, you may want to come down and get a look see and come in.
yeah.
It's donkeys there, and it's just beautiful mountain ranges all around.
Beautiful
Okay.
So
countryside.
yes.
Oh, lovely.
So that's an extension of this, and we'll be having trail rides and different events there as well.
It's good that y'all are growing. I love that.
Yeah, growth and
Yeah.
expansion. is-
Yeah.
is just,
That's
just
husbandry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Much so.
Yes,
So.
yes,
So,
yes.
hey.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much. Urban Saddles.
thank you.
Donate, send things, and I wish you all the success. I just think it's such an important thing. I really do.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks for
Appreciate it.
listening, everybody.
Thanks, Susan.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Rate and review Hey Human on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks for listening. Bye.